Yeah. Here's a part nobody's ready for. Credit don't evolve till the economy itself slips the leash. For centuries, production was physical. Steel, soil, sweat, stuff to stake a fingerprint. Catalog, seize, tax, choke. If you built it, they own the rails you rode it on. If you borrowed, they own the courts that enforced the loan. If you defaulted, they owned your body. But now, the engine of civilization ain't bricks or blast furnaces. It's cognition, it's code, it's knowledge folding in on itself. Like recursive steel, guided by neural networks that don't sleep. The real economy turned into information and no one sounded the alarm. When value becomes intelligence and intelligence becomes digital, labor stops needing land, production stops needing borders, and enforcement stops needing violence cause you can't seize a model wave file hidden behind a mnemonic phrase. You can't handcuff an algorithm living on a sovereign drive. You can't tax a pseudonym whose income routes through 1,000 silent ledgers like blood through capillaries the state can't map. Credit changes when production escapes. Look, for decades the highest paid people weren't the strongest, they were the smartest. Engineers, quants, researchers, people whose factory floor was a screen and whose machines were abstractions. Then AI dropped to multiply their output like a cheat code. Suddenly one mind equals 50 minds, then 500 minds, then whole departments packed into a whisper of silicon. Capital becomes cognition. Cognition becomes portable, and portable capital don't play by nation state rules. The state's leverage collapses the minute production gets quiet.
You can't regulate what never sits still. You can't confiscate what isn't physical. You can't police what you can't see. You can't tax what never crosses your border. You can't outlaw what's already everywhere and owned by no one.
So the first to slip the net are the high-value producers, the builders, the thinkers, the AI native, the crypto fluent, the privacy literate, the ones who make the tools the world will depend on next when they leave. The old system loses its oxygen, and that's the inflection point. Decentralized credit stops being a meme and becomes necessity. The moment repayment, production, and productivity become digital enough to enforce themselves. No courts, no IDs, no violence, just code, reputation, history, and outcomes. Borrowers repay because their entire economic life is tied to the same pseudonym they're building an empire under. Default becomes expensive, not because a sheriff knocks, but because your digital identity is worth more than the dollars you borrowed. Reputation becomes collateral, performance becomes security. Work becomes provable, income becomes programmable, risk becomes visible. The old world needed bodies, the new world needs minds. Minds don't stay caged. This is why real decentralized credit was impossible before. Not because crypto failed, but because the economy wasn't digital enough to support it. Now it is. And when production turns fully information native, the platforms arrive. Sovereign work networks, AI, crypto coordination, market pseudonymous merit guilds, stateless digital corporations, global skills score economies where value ain't enforced by nations, it's enforced by code and reputation that follows you across every chain you touch. This is the preface to the platform shift. The moment the economy slips its physical shell and becomes something no state can chain down. Production becomes information, information becomes sovereign, sovereignty becomes programmable, and credit finally catches up. It's the part where the world stops rhyming and starts structuring. Where money ain't the story anymore, just the preface. Where credit stops being patched on chain and starts being born natively, like coral growing its own skeleton. See, first you get sovereignty, that's money. You get civilization, that's credit. But coordination, that takes scaffolding. It takes places to be, to work, to signal, to prove. And right now, fiat's architecture is collapsed. Scaffolding rusted, pillars hollowed, algorithms mispriced. Interest rates screaming through the drywall like tenants fed up with the landlord. So crypto don't rise as an asset class, it rises as a platform layer. A new operating system, a new geography built on top of the only soil that can't be confiscated. Math. Watch the next shift unfold. Sovereign networks with no borders, job markets with no bosses, merit systems with no gatekeepers, value rails with no inspection points. The stuff PayPal wished it could be, and Facebook fears it will become. The new giants won't be companies, they'll be protocols you inhabit, economies. You log into universes where identity grows roots and every action is a line and a resume you actually own. In these worlds, your address is your anchor, your history is your passport, your work is your collateral, your reputation is your leverage, your output is your income stream, and defaulting ain't a crime. The social suicide platforms emerge, cause nothing else can hold this much pressure, cause billions of microtransactions need a place to breathe, cause primordial coordination needs a habitat before it mutates into a civilization. Picture this. Decentralized guilds, crypto-native unions, AI-powered work engines, matching pseudonymous skills to pseudonymous demand across borders that governments can't redraw. Credit flows through these networks like blood through veins, not from banks, not from states, but from people staking their name on the work of someone they've never met and trusting them anyway. This is the shift. The moment money stops being an investment and becomes an environment. The moment credit stops being an instrument and becomes a culture. The moment platforms stop being apps and become nations, stateless, permissionless, self-coordinating, self-enforcing, self-sustaining. This is the platform era where sovereignty scales, where coordination compounds, where productivity goes borderless, where civilization grows out of code instead of constitutions. And if you blink, you'll miss the birth of the first economy, built entirely out of intelligence, reputation, and math. Money gave you sovereignty. Credit will give you civilization. Platforms will give you a world to build that civilization inside. Welcome to the shift. The next chapter starts here.
I've been waiting to say this for years. Watch the tape. You see it unfold exactly how I told you. Not now. Soon. This ain't revelation, it's inevitability. Just pay attention to what shows up on chain when the world starts needing real growth again. Here's what you'll witness when the casino smoke finally clears. People stop in the bar, would ever liquidate, reload loop, and start tapping credit for what credit was built for. Production, real lending, not leverage cosplay. You gon' see borrowers requesting capital to ship, not to spin the slot machine with a white paper taped to it. You'll see addresses raising for work, not wages. Deos underwriting actual builders, not Photoshop profits with a community manager. You'll see on-chain activity start to look like an economy, not a carnival. Funds moving forward in time toward things that return more value than they consume. Cause once necessity hits, you watch the chain mutate. Transactions get tagged with meaning, capital gets paired with contribution, reputation becomes a ledger of what you did, not what you tweeted. And for the first time ever, the curve wakes up. That slow-mo ECG of productivity pulses green. Funds in, workout, value return, and the cycle repeats without a middleman, leeching 2 and 20 off the bloodstream. You'll see code measuring output more honestly than any accounting firm that ever filed a Q4. A lot of safe face for shareholders. You watch smart contracts do what regulators never could. Reward people who build things that last, and starve people who build things that spin. You'll see credit shift from a gambling stack to a coordination engine, and suddenly everything on chain behaves like it was supposed to. Before influencers sold you a paperback version of economics they never understood. A productivity curve activates, and when it does, it'll be visible, verifiable, and incontestable. Cause growth leaves footprints you can't forge, and the chain remembers everything. You will watch it happen, not all at once, but in pulses like a heartbeat skipping under stress. First the bond guys panic, now we're screaming with silence. That eerie something's off, silence right before liquidity window freezes. You'll see yields climbing like a fever the state can't break, and the old guard still calling it temporary, pretending the thermometer's lying and the trust breaks quietly, elegantly. Discreet capital tiptoeing toward the exit before the alarms even ring. They rotate out of fiat, not because they believe in crypto, but because fiat stops believing in itself. Real yields go negative, debt spirals, pension sweat, sovereigns bluff, rating agents install, and everybody pretends they don't see the fire creeping up the curtains. That's when capital starts sniffing around the new cities forming on chain, not casinos, economies with productivity metrics you can literally read in block explorers. Coordination curves visible like weather patterns, risk priced publicly instead of by some intern in the glass tower. This is the part you'll feel. Money doesn't chase freedom, money chases return. And when productivity blooms in sovereign pseudonymous markets, capital recognizes dissent. It remembers what growth smelled like before the state smothered it under debt ceilings and policy lies. You'll see capital migrate like birds sensing a climate shift. Hedge funds first, then family offices, then corporates and sovereigns pretending they're experimenting. Not ideological, not revolutionary, just Darwinian. They go where the productivity lives, they go where the risk is honest, they go where the rules don't change because someone's poll numbers dip. You'll watch the rotation like a tide pulling back, slow, then sudden, then violent. Not because crypto won, but because fiat finally stopped pretending it could be saved. This is the flight to solvency, the migration to transparency, the great rotation from a dying credit empire to the first digital economy that can actually grow again. Capital doesn't care who's right, it cares who can build. And for the first
watch how the flows move when the macro cracks loud enough to wake the sleepers. Fiat yields about to levitate like a corpse on strings, propped up by panic policy, duct tape, and a treasury market nobody wants to hold once inflation stops pretending to be transitory. Safe haven? Nah. Bonds flip from sanctuary to hazard light, from risk-free to guaranteed bleed. Rates rise cause governments broke the price of trust, and the whole legacy system starts choking on the cost of its own survival. But in sovereign markets, the curve moves backwards. Rates fall because risk gets visible, defaults get costly, and lenders start competing for borrowers who actually produce. Two worlds, one drowning in rising cost of capital, the other lowering it like a drawbridge into a future economy. Look, capital ain't loyal. Capital don't care about flags or policy speeches or central bank bedtime stories. Capital chases productivity, clarity, returns. And when crypto native platforms start showing real output, real work, real value, real coordination, the flight begins. First in drips, then in flows, then in a stampede. Institutions will call it irrational, like every paradigm shift they miss while polishing their own gravestones. But the math don't blink. High friction, low friction, opaquely transparent, permission borderless, political, programmatic, fragile and anti-fragile. Money slides from the system that punishes savers to the one that rewards builders. From a world where interest rates rise because everything's breaking, to a world where rates fall because everything's working. From fiat, where credit expansion buys time, to sovereign networks, where credit expansion buys growth. This is rotation by revelation, the moment capital realizes the old world ain't sick, it's terminal. And the new world ain't hype, it's functional. You'll see it soon, the quiet migration, the great repricing, the exit you can't legislate, can't sanction, can't intercept. Cause capital goes where reality performs, and reality's shifting chains.
Watch close, cause the next chapter ain't political, it's metabolic. Systems fail the same way bodies do. They lose circulation before they lose consciousness. And fiat's heartbeat is credit. State issue, state price, state protected debt that only lives cause they feed it inflation, like morphine to a dying patient. But when credit gets rebuilt elsewhere, pseudonymous, portable, programmable, the arteries reroute, blood finds a new path, and the old heart starts counting backwards. See, when reputation becomes collateral, when enforcement is cold, when default costs you social capital instead of court dates, coordination stops needing permission. That's the first crack in the throne. Credit evolves, and the state withers, not with riots, not with uprisings, not with indifference. The quiet death of a sister nobody needs anymore. Nobody needs anymore. Whoa, let it evolve. Yeah, anymore. They taught you money is sovereignty, but they never taught you what comes next. Money's the seed, credit's the harvest, coordination's the civilization. And once credit moves off their rails, they can't gatekeep production, can't freeze your accounts, can't blacklist your name, can't weaponize trust against the people who earn it. Oh, they build control on choke points, banks, bureaus, borders, but pseudonymous economies don't choke. They fork every time a sovereign network issues credit without a permission slip. An institution dies a little every time a pseudonym honors a contract on chain. A courtroom grows irrelevant every time capital coordinates without identity. A regulator loses a labor. Oh, oh, this is how power actually ends, not with collapse, but with redundancy. You'll see it not today, but soon. When the smartest people stop asking permission, when capital stops crawling through broken fiat pipes, when trust stops being printed and starts being proven, that's the moment the state realizes it ain't the counterparty anymore. It's the spectator.
Credit evolved,
And the state withers,
money gave
you sovereignty, yeah.
credit gives you civilization.
Together they give you a world that no longer needs its old masters.
It's old masters. It's old
It's
masters. It's old masters.
And when the new system blooms, not from revolution, but from replacement, you'll understand the truth. They spent a century hiding control. Don't vanish, it migrates.
Migrate.
Yeah, to the hands that coordinate better, to the chains that enforce cleaner, to the people who actually build instead of govern. Sovereignty wasn't the ending, it was the beginning. Look, fiat don't lose, cause crypto's cute. It loses cause the whole system got outperformed by code in a hoodie with no lobbyist budget. Legacy credit moves like it's wading through cement. Paper trails, compliance clerks, political choke points, regulatory reroutes where efficiency goes to die. Meanwhile, sovereign markets be running laps with enforcement baked into silicone, risk clear as glass, liquidity global before sunrise. Fiat can't keep up, not with interest rates hiking like they trying to summit Everest just to bribe lenders into holding debt nobody trusts. Not with yields that evaporate evaporate at the hint of another bailout whisper. You can't win a race, dragging a central bank behind you like a dead horse. Crypto don't beat fiat on vibes, that was the lie. Y'all sold in bull markets, crypto wins, cause the physics of the system make the outcome inevitable. Fiat credit is opaque, political, insider gated, backstopped by inflationary violence and enforced by courts that cost more than the loan you borrowed. Decentralized credit is transparent, borderless, risk price in real time, executed by contracts that settle themselves while you sleep. One system hides risk, the other reveals it, that's the checkmate. Watch, as crypto native economy scale, capital stops asking permission, stops begging for yield, scraps off a collapse and sovereign bond market. It flows where productivity lives, where risk is priced honestly, where coordination ain't political, it's mathematical. That's why lenders migrate, that's why borrowers defect, and that's why the old world decays, why the new world compounds. Productivity trust. Trust in credit, credit is growth. Growth in capital rotation, lower rates, dominance. That's fundamentals, not fate, not fandom, not ideology. It's pure economic superiority.